11点了，就准时开始哈。好，欢迎各位。今天从附近吗？还是北中南都有？都有。好，那欢迎各位，好，就是来我们彰师参加我们接下来的2位老师的分享。那第一位是盖杰富老师，Jeffrey， 他是会一点点中文，对，一点点，不要被他骗了。他每次讲了一句之后，好，我们就开始跟他讲台语，然后他就会跟你说。我听不好，但是呢，他会一些就是还蛮厉害的。今天要分享的题目还蛮长的，我就把它念一遍了哈。Fostering digital literacy in technology-related courses through the adoption of an experiential and self-directed learning approach。那我就交给盖老师哈。
So happy to be here. I see some friendly faces, some of my students. Right? Let me get started. Firstly, this is not a research project. 是它的道理不是做研究，就这个会计可以算一下那个学生怎么样，就是一个 case study. So let's start. Background. This we all know this. Why I want to change my teaching. Why I want to improve my teaching is because, of course, we know this all. Less students, 小四化, right?小四化, and that means we accept more and more students in our universities, and that means we have more diversity, which can be very good. But it also means we have to be aware of inclusivity. Make sure every student is welcome and their learning needs are met. Right? So traditional methods like I used in the past, perhaps, just don't meet our needs of our students. For example, paper pencil. If you take my class, you know I don't have the paper pencil test. I'm not complaining about that, but for my teaching, for the digital, technology-based courses, I think paper and pencil doesn't fit well, right? It's not technical. Right, so digital and multimedia is the direction. From teacher-centered to student-centered, of course we all know this. Right? But this includes also the ability to search and safely, right? And ethically. So you can see that on the previous slide, I give the credit to this picture. This is not my picture. I need to be ethical. I found it. I think it's very useful. So give it the credit it deserves. And even understanding a bit how computers work. How the search functions work. Why does YouTube recommend this video to me? Right? When I use Google, why does this advertisement pop up? It knows me. It knows my interests. And another policy special for Taiwan is the one device, one student. If you're a teacher, your school has this enacted already, right? Yeah. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Right? The second is use. It's in the circle. This is how the idea of digital inclusion has changed over the last years, I would say. We used to talk about the digital divide, have and have not. In the past, the rural schools, 非常偏向的那些学校没有什么科技，没有什么好的平板。Now it's not a problem. Now, in fact, the rural schools have more than others sometimes. Right. So there are other levels of digital divide. Second and third. So second is the technical skills. Not just access, but the skills to use it well. And the third level is how to take this and translate it into your real life. From online to offline. Is there a way to use what we learn online and apply it offline? Okay, and that will affect our job, perhaps, our daily life, our social life. Now, here's the, I call it intersection, access and use. All right, this is Taiwan's policy. This comes from MOE, right? And they want to have a device for every student. This is their plan. Now, what happened next? All the news stories, oh no, we are going to forbid devices in the school, right? It's bad for your eyes. Don't use laptops, smartphones, tablets during class. Huh? What? What happened? All right, so of course we realized that there are some problems. Addiction. Some of my students are addicted. That's right. They have to have their phone or they feel like their life is in danger. And other things, the social skills. Remember the online teaching. Our students came back. They weren't the same. They weren't interactive. They didn't make good connections with each other. You know, it affected their social skills. Even sleep. I'm guilty of this. Watching YouTube until midnight, and then it's hard to fall asleep. And a lot of things, distractions, concentration, even physically. You know, bad posture and less exercise. You can see me kind of fly home. I don't get that much physical activity. And bullying, right? Bullying before is something we can see in a classroom or in a playground. Now it's something that maybe we never see, parents don't see, until maybe their kid does something harmful to themselves. And then we find out after, oh, they're being bullied online. So all of these things, we talk about the blue light hurting our eyes as well. And so why I know a lot about this, I can say it's because I'm one of the review editors for a journal and of addictive disorders. And most recently, a lot of papers we get are related to smartphone addiction, internet addiction, social media use addiction. It's not just smoking and drinking, kind of physical addictions. So the third, from use, right, and now to access, use, and then understanding. So this involves critical thinking. And this morning, this is what Bill and Mary mentioned. How can our students think critically if AI can just do everything for them, right? So in fact, next year, I plan to do a project and teaching specifically AI literacy. So my students can use AI, but they need to be critical of it. Okay. So this is the why and the how of how technology works, how those multimedia work, and reflecting on your use. So typically, I will ask my students in these classes, at the end of the semester, please submit your reflection report. What did you learn? What did you struggle with? Right? Anything, feedback for improving the course. And yes, I'll give you a case study in a moment, and you'll see that it did need some improvement. Okay, this is a story. I put it here so I won't forget. I used to be involved in the 行动学习团教育部的计划内，当那个指导教授。我去那个一个国小校长，他说这个 APP 好好用啊，因为场地上有那个一个 painting， 他说我可以扫一下就知道它的大概大小 ，maybe plus or minus 1 centimeter. So I asked him, I said, 校长 why not just use a ruler? Why not use a ruler? It will be direct, a way to directly and accurately measure. So after this, I don't really do a lot of mobile learning activities. I kind of got a bit depressed about the situation. Too much reliance on technology. We need to understand the effects. And the fourth level is engagement. So I encourage my students, you are a creator, not a user. You're not a consumer only, not a creator. How to be effective, responsible, and again, here's where it includes the offline elements. Being a digital citizen. The next slides I'm going to kind of quickly go through. Believe it or not, Jai was top 7 in the world in 2018 for intelligent communities. And for the education part, I will be the 代表这个嘉义市就是报告一下。And so I made up the 5 E's. This is deeper, right? Enhanced learning, enable students to extend their learning, engage and empower, and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur. Start your own business, this type of spirit. So this is what I came up with, how to use technology in an effective way. And I have some examples of my students. I could tell a lot of stories. This is 那个社长 from 嘉义 before, and he's playing a game made by my students. And he's 说，哦，那个会长非常好，他的口音是这样，会长非常好，你可以卖，那个可以卖哦。So he's a very cute mayor. Other things, the students will work together, teach each other, teach teachers as well. This is the posters that were made, and during the 运动会, they will set up the tablet or the laptop and let everyone play their games. And so they're very proud. They're the makers, they're the creators. This is the research I did many years ago, and it shows definitely these are the skills we want our students to have creativity, right? Critical thinking, 批判思考能力，那个问题解决能力，沟通能力，合作的这些 5 C's. And here's some other examples. Yeah, students are in charge. Right, back to, well, my topic. We have, the first is digital literacy. Second is how to implement that, how to achieve that. And my focus was giving students a chance to experience, to have engaged in experiential learning. And it's a cycle, okay, so students reflect, think, and act, and then repeat as needed, and I'll show you how that connects to my teaching later on. So basically, experiential learning, I think you all know this, students can apply their knowledge, but at the same time also learn new skills, and transfer these skills, hopefully, to their future. Our students 大学是他们在思考未来要做什么工作，他们确定要当老师吗？不一定哦。所以他们在思考这个问题。那最好是我们可以提供这些那个技巧，也是能力，就是让他们未来比较好找工作。因为现在他们有点卡住了哦。But no matter what they choose, having digital literacy will be important for them. So this experiential learning helps them to engage, motivated, focus on real-world issues, okay, and they can become leaders. Here are the 5 elements, and I will mention them a little bit one by one. This is based on the 108课纲. Everything is changed a little bit now. So this is self-directed learning. Right, so students have flexibility in terms of time. This is hard to do. Right? We have classroom, we have 第1节、第2节、第3节、4节. But we used to talk about 双教学那个 split learning, right? In fact, we always do that anyways. Our students have homework, and they come back to class, and we have more free time to discuss, what you did for homework. Right? Others choosing their own topics or making plans and developing your self-directed learning abilities. I'll point these out a little bit later when I show you my teaching. Right, so again, these are what I just mentioned, those 5. The 5th one, creating a portfolio. This is something also Bill and Mary mentioned this morning. Right, their system will help you to create this. So in the end of this class project, students have to have a ZIP or RAR file that they can share with teachers. So that's the focus. So how did the class operate? First of all, it was taught when I first came to Zatsuda, the 2nd semester. I got the chance to teach this class, and it's offered, at the time I didn't really pay attention. Right? So it's not for teaching students, not for teaching track, but I did include lesson plans and teaching demos, and later they told me, 老师，我未来不想当老师怎么办? So I revised, and now this semester I'm teaching this class again, and it's quite different. And so a small class, 17, nice, and 2 periods every week. This is the syllabus, just to point out the different activities, the activity sharing. They have midterm proposals. So this is the self-directed learning aspect. They have to plan and then revise and act, because at the end they have their micro-teaching. They also have to create a package And just to add more mahal for students, I asked them to choose a research article. 从那个对那个科技、对那个数位教学有一些那个论文，要分享给大家，那个大概了解一下它的意义是什么。Students hate that. So 这是我的错误。Right. But it's a lot of work. You can see a lot of work. So a little bit here, I say the flexible time is a little bit related to the homework they do, and in class we have some time to prepare as well. Right, so this is one of the main activities. They have to share a media app, and right, this is related to your selecting your topic. I say any app is okay. Just propose to me. I will give you some feedback if I feel you need to change something. And so I'll give you an example what my students create. Again, thinking about this, the digital literacy. So these students, they introduce Pear Deck. Anybody use Pear Deck before? Yeah? So I'll go through simply what I asked them to do, give the source. So again, this is like access, right? For digital literacy. Summarize how it helps. It's kind of understanding. Right? And demonstration. Right? This is actually the application of it. And then time for us to practice in class. So you can see very experiential. We have demonstration, in-class practice, possible problems. So we can see step by step how this is connected to our digital literacy. First, access, how to get it. I said you should give us a QR code. They didn't give it in this presentation, but later you'll see other work they did. Okay? Next, understand. They need to understand because they will explain how it helps teachers. You can see very education focused. A lot of functions. You can draw, you can color, you can have multiple choice options. And you can add text and pictures, take a poll, take a vote, multiple choice, draggable things. 你可以拿这个东西。他说，哎，那个台湾在哪里？So this example, where are tigers? And you can use your finger and pull it. So they have a lot. And next is the use aspect. So they demonstrate for us, and this is their proposal, what they will do, and later for their teaching demo. And these are the slides they prepare, and you can see what their focus is. When he flew this morning, she shared quite a bit. She shared about beef noodles, right? And bubble tea, sticky tofu as well. Yeah, so good coverage. And raised pork ribs. So again, I'm just going to skip through this. You can see kind of how they present. Okay. Now it's time for practice. So this goes on to the third, the fourth, engage. Right. So how can you apply offline to online to offline? Right. And so this is hopefully transferable skills, teaching skills. Right. Again, they show us an example. I always try to have them be critical thinkers. So every app has its 优点、缺点. So I will usually ask, what's the pro, what's the con? A lot of pros, also cons. Right? So there's some possible problems, things we all know about, right? Internet connection, lower achieving students, etc. The next activity was the midterm proposal. So again, this is related to writing a plan, okay? And also presenting that. And you can see this is also part of the experiential learning process, because they will reflect and think after they get the feedback and revise their proposal content based on the feedback for their final activities. Right. I won't show you examples of that. I thought I did, but okay, it's not. And multimedia package, this is a collection of all of the work that they've made. And I heard this word yesterday, copyleft. You know, we always talk about copyright. Don't break the copyright. And the teacher said, the speaker said, copyleft. Huh? What's that? So left and right. And so it's the kind of backwards C. It means you allow everyone to freely use it, what you create. Right? And we have Creative Commons CC, that website, you can find those kind of images. So 我的要求就是那个学生做的东西一定要对老师能用。So don't put anything there that you don't want the teachers to use. Okay, this is their folder. It has their teaching PPT, handouts, lesson plan. I said please make it in an editable version. If teachers want to change the lesson plan or change the handouts or change the PPT, they can do that. And they also made a handbook, which is their masterpiece. Hopefully I can show you that. Here's just an example of what their presentation files look like. Look, this is only half. They have put a lot of effort, and they include some discussion again. What did you learn? Kind of wrap up. This is the user's guide, and hopefully the link works. Just briefly show you. Very beautiful. Can you imagine? It's created by students. It's very attractive. Let's see if we can get it online. I'm sorry if you can't see this. It's on the screen. And so they. Well, I'll have to skip this. If you're interested in this, I can show you at another time. Many pages, and it guides teachers step by step how to use Paradigm. Trust me, that it's really, really nice. All right, lesson plan. Wow. So I usually say to my students, 不要担心哦，老师不会教你做教案，是因为我很严格。I always say, where's your 书眼在哪里？ Right? You guys know. Some of you guys know me, right? You get a lot of feedback on your lesson planning. Right? So I say you don't need to have a learning focus, 表现内容那个。Just give the step by step, but still, a lot of teacher talk prepared for the English class. And, handouts, they also created for supporting students learning. Hosting a workshop, again, very complex academic content. They did pretty good, okay? And they also prepared some Q&A time. And I also asked them, give a hands-on example that fits with what that theory is. Theory, practice, make the connection. Some of their slides again, you can see. Micro-teaching worked. The link is not going to work. This is a short video of the students teaching. Here's some pictures of them. She doesn't look very happy, but they're doing well. She's one of our master students and graduated last year. And here are students working together, hands-on, and they're not playing on Facebook or things like that. I went around looking. They're all actually using Paradigm. They're using the correct app. For privacy, I cover her face. Yeah. So they're all on task, and I'm checking. I'm going around making sure they're on task. And also, I'm trying my best too. This is an iPad. 我学校有个计划，就是数位教学的嘛。他有卖一些那个Apple 的平板，平常没有人用，所以我是尽力就是去那个4楼拿那些那个平板，最好是可以使用它的，不要浪费时间，浪费那个钱。So that class, I asked them, okay, try to use the iPad, but don't lose the pen. How much for a pen? 有多少？超过1000块。3,000, right? So what's the result? I cannot say statistically, right? I don't have statistics. I got a good review. 4.88 is pretty good, right? Okay, let's just say that. Higher than the average for our university. Students perform well. Okay, I use a lot of projects, but am I generous? I'm realistic. I try to give them the score they deserve. They all did well. No one failed. They all got a pretty good score. And again, students' feedback was positive. Here's some of their comments you mentioned. Yeah, you have to be prepared for your classes, right? So they say they learned something. Usually students don't leave comments on the teacher evaluation form, so I was happy to see something from that. So they got multimedia. My reflection is that students really could handle that heavy load and Okay, these are all different projects they have to do. And they're, however, very much related to self-directed learning, experiential learning. And I do believe that they did improve their digital literacy. I do believe that from what I observe, from what I see students do. They can access, they can use, they can understand, and they can engage, they can apply to the real world. So discussion basically is what I just mentioned. Students say we are not, okay, we are non-teaching students. 我们不是师培生，我们是那个我也不知道在做什么，就是工作哦。And so as a result, I made some change. No lesson plan, no micro teaching. That became a demonstration. 基本上那个是a teaching demo, but they don't think it's a teaching demo. It's just a hands-on experience with them. I also de-emphasize language learning because the class is doesn't include English. So I let them be more flexible. Okay, I'll show you an example from this semester. Same class, I changed. We have some sharing about daily life apps. Some shared about Google Maps. I learned things I didn't know Google Maps could do. YouTube, I learned things I didn't know YouTube could do. So students are really good at sharing that tech. Okay. Again, proposals, similar structure, and then at the end their demonstrations. Okay. And more time in class for workshops, and we would have some guest speakers. You can see we had our elementary school teacher, and this is one of our graduates of our university and one of our friends of our department, teacher Wendy. Okay. And here's just some pictures from this semester, during the workshop, during class time, working together on their projects. See, they're on task, presenting. We're halfway through the semester. They're talking about the problems, so they're looking at it from a critical point of view. I guess the one will have questions. That's why I went over. Any questions? Okay. If not, then thank you.
谢谢戴老师。你们如果不好意思要在这里现场问，我们当然都欢迎大家有机会遇到都可以交换意见哦。那今天就是感谢戴老师，也就虽然我们很熟，但是呢，还是要表达我们对他的 appreciation 哦，所以我们准备了一些小东西。然后等一下，我想戴老师我们也可以跟参加的同学还有老师一起照个照。OK。好，等一下我们就往那边走。好，那我先给这些东西。Thank you very much. Your time and for